In developing our approach to teacher training in restorative practices, what we've done is listen to teachers all over the country. What they tell us is that there's two concerns they have about restorative practices. Number one is that it's a little bit soft, and number two is that it takes too long. Well, we think we can dispel those myths by having people understand what we refer to as being the restorative practices continuum. And that means that every time a kid drops a piece of rubbish on the ground, we're not about to go off and run a formal conference. Understanding the continuum places our teachers with skill and poise at being able to understand how and when to intervene so that they're investing an appropriate proportion of their time. What we also find is that when we work with our teachers, they don't want to be lectured by people who haven't walked the talk. So what we do is make sure that you're working with someone who has both led and taught using restorative practices so that they can guide you through some really contextual situations that are appropriate to your setting, your time, your place. What we find exciting is when people are able to differentiate for themselves and to take situations and move them from the past to the present to the future. Now, I find that particularly useful with my favourite students to work with, Year 6 girls, who are very good at anchoring everything in the past and can bring up all sorts of things that happened in Year 1 or 2 that apparently are relevant to the situation today. Restorative practices, for me, provides me with the framework to move the group of girls from the past, what's actually happened, to the present, how it's making people feel, and to the future, how we can actually overcome this and repair the harm that's been done. We do it through a really inspiring package that's focused on the idea of inspiring people first, getting them to think, and then getting them to do. This is not a chalk and talk day, and it's not a day where your teachers will be inactive and passive in the process of learning about restorative practices. It's a day where they will learn by doing, and they will transform their practice into something that contributes to a wonderful culture in your school.